Hello, everybody. So this is one of the most common things that I hear about is people who struggle with their foundation separating by like noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever. And so I've got a lot of questions about it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it today, kind of assess it a little bit today. So how many of you struggle with your foundation separating by the end of the day, or how many of you struggle with it kind of pulling apart? Now, the first thing, which anybody is going to tell you, is that skincare is going to be key. Okay, so making sure, I'm not going to go through all of that. Any specific skincare needs, you can just shoot me a message, but skincare is going to be number one. I can just tell you that from personal experience. Skincare is going to be the first thing that you're going to want to make sure that you have in order. Now, when it comes cosmetically, the first thing, you want to make sure you're exfoliating your skin. Okay, if you're not exfoliating your skin, then you're going to kind of run into some, you're going to run into some roadblocks, because you're going to have patches, you're going to have all that fun stuff on your face, right? But let's moisturize here, and let's do one side of our face so you guys can kind of see what's going on here, and I can show you some techniques for keeping it from separating on your skin. I like to use this little brush here because I don't like to touch my face any more than I don't have to, because it's just, I hate touching my face. I hate it. Especially when they're clean. Even if they're clean, I hate doing that. Okay, so we have the moisturizer on, which is really super important. I already have like my serums and all that stuff on, because I go from lightest to heaviest, and moisturizer's the heaviest that I can have on, right? So when it comes to separating, again, skincare prep is going to be important. Cleanser, moisturizer, exfoliating a couple times a week, and also serums, that kind of thing, right? I don't have to go into all that with you guys, because you guys know what I'm talking about. But priming is going to be your friend, okay? Now, typically what I find most of the time when people are struggling with separation anxiety on their face is it's a skincare issue. Okay, cosmetically can be fixed, right? So priming is going to be your best friend. Okay, how many of you prime? A lot of people don't prime. Shockingly, a lot of people do not prime their skin, which it's kind of like painting your walls. Like, you're going to use more paint on your walls if you don't prime it, right? So when you're exfoliating your skin, you're getting that dead, dry skin. Now, here is the number one thing when people tell me their skin separates. First, it's a skincare issue. Second, it's an exfoliation issue. And third, it's the type of foundation that they are wearing. Now, there's no right, there's no wrong foundation. However, when it comes to mature, flaky, dry skin that separates, there is specific foundations you should stay away from, unfortunately. Okay? Unfortunately, with mature, dry, flaky skin, you have to stay away from a liquidy type foundations, unfortunately. And a lot of times foundations, you want to stay away from foundations that have like SPFs in them. That doesn't mean you can't put SPFs in them, okay? A lot of times when a lot of foundations have SPFs in them, they're filled with other fillers or water, okay? If you look on the back of a lot of foundations, the number one ingredient is probably like agua. It says water on it. And so what happens is they put those in there to extend the life of that foundation. Okay. And so how that does not serve you is that when that happens, A, oxidation happens, but B, it causes the skin and the foundation to separate. Okay. Because A, the skin's not exfoliated correctly. B, it's watered down. And C, it has fillers in there. Okay, this is just the honest to God truth. Like, I'm just being honest with everybody. I keep it 100. So the thing that I have found with most of my clients is that a creamy wax-based foundation is going to be great for mature skin, oily skin, dry skin, purple skin, and green skin. Whatever color skin you got, whatever kind of skin you got, it's going to work. Now, if you look here at the side of my face here, it's pretty prepped. You could even tell the difference on it. Now I put a little bit of concealer over here so it looks a little bit different. Now, when you're applying your foundation, that's going to make a huge difference too if you have separated skin, okay? So the other thing that could be causing the issue is application, okay? So that's why I prefer a cream-based foundation, because you can take it and you can actually manipulate it around your face, okay? You can manipulate it even with your hand if you want to, okay? But creamy is going to be great for those of us who struggle with dry, mature skin. If you struggle with your foundation going into your cricks and crevices, now I'm using a little bit of a darker color because I just got back from being in the sun. So in order for it to match here, I have to use a little bit of a darker color. So it can be a little bit like, oh my God, what is she putting on? But I am putting this on so you guys can see kind of a difference in how this is applying. So if you struggle with your foundation getting into your creaks and crevices, cream base is going to be one of your friends. Now, one of the other things that I have found when it comes to foundation separating is a lot of times we're not setting our foundation correctly, okay? So that's the other thing. I'm just kind of going down here so I can kind of make this line right in here, okay? Now, like I said, I'm wearing a darker foundation today just to kind of do this manipulation to show you guys, okay? So we have skincare, which can be a cause of an issue. We have exfoliation, and then we have application. We have the type of foundation. So again, I always tell people with mature, oily, dry, all skin types that to stay away from foundations that have liquidy to it or already added SPFs in it, because those tend to make people separate even more along with like the application and the foundation type. Because again, as I was saying before, a lot of times when people use have water in their foundation or like SPF, those tend to dilute the foundation. Then you're going to see like an oxidation happen, and you're like, what's oxidation? Oxidation is a whole nother story, but oxidation is when your foundation will turn orange on you. It's kind of like if you leave a banana on a counter for like 4 or 5 hours, it'll oxidize. It turns like a brown color. This looks a little bit browner because I used a really dark color to show you this, so this is not my natural foundation color. So when you see that, that's because there's liquids in it and there's fillers in it. So what I have found for dry, mature, separated skin is a cream based, okay? And if you guys go to TikTok, it's viral now. This foundation that I use is viral, which is crazy. So when you have separated skin, do you see how I just applied that translucent powder to it? I'm taking a powder puff. I call it my powder puff girl. And translucent powder is going to help like magnify oil during the day, but it's also going to help reduce the appearance of your pore. Now, if you look here, it's not completely gone, but if you look here, it's starting to mattify my 11 line, okay? And then I'm going to start to manipulate it right there, okay? Setting your foundation is going to be key when it comes to separation, along with good skincare, okay, guys? I'm not saying that this whole routine with my foundation is going to completely take it away. Having good skincare, exfoliating your skin is going to be number one, right? These are just added things that are going to help you. So finding the right foundation, making sure it fits your skin type, exfoliation, moisturization, and application, and then also setting that foundation. And so that's where it leads me to one of my last, because it kind of goes with the same thing, is making sure that you're locking your foundation on your skin. And a lot of people are like, well, you just set it with powder. Powder is different than setting spray, okay? Translucent powder is a powder, okay? You need a setting spray to set that on your face. So for example, if I just were to go out without setting my foundation, it probably is not going to last all day, right? Because it's just kind of there. I need that extra insurance policy on my skin that's going to keep it. So I like to just take it and I just like to spray it. And I actually call this my 10 years and younger spray because A, it keeps that foundation looking fresh, but it also keeps it from moving all over. I'm going to show you guys a really cool trick here while we're waiting. I'm going to take some of this primer, okay? And so I'm going to put some eyeshadow on, if I can find my shadows here. Because a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, right, like your primer and setting spray does not move anything. Like, it really doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this super bright pink blush. Okay, I'm going to just take it here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my arm that doesn't have anything on it, okay? And I'm just going to, you can kind of tell the difference on application, right? So I didn't put I have to do several. So you can see here that it kind of goes a lot more. I'm going to take my setting spray and I'm going to set this side here, okay? So I'm just going to leave that on there. I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. Remember, this side has nothing. I've not manipulated anything. I feel like David Copperfield over here, like nothing has been touched. Nothing has happened. I feel like I'm on America's Got Talent here and Simon Cowell's like watching me and he's like, oh my gosh. I'm just playing, guys. So we have application, finding a foundation that's for your skin type, exfoliation, okay? And I'm not telling you to go out and find exfoliating beads that are like this big and exfoliate the crap out of your face. I'm talking about little tiny micro beads, okay? Ones that actually fit into your pore, okay? Again, this is a darker color. I'm trying to show, hi Bianca, I'm trying to show, you know, a demonstration. So I don't want to hear people coming at me being like, oh my gosh, that was not your foundation type. Yeah, I know. No joke, right? I think I know that. So application, exfoliation, moisturization, finding your foundation type, staying away from SPFs, watered down ones. Typically, you're going to find that over the counter or through specific places because, again, watered down in SPFs usually have fillers in them because a lot of SPFs have chemicals in them that are bad for our skin. Hence the fact we've had all of these warnings. So we have to stay away from those because they water those down, they fill those in, so it extends the life of it, right? Because they want your foundation with SPF to last at least 6 months, 6 to 12 months, right? Especially if it's a lower grade. You want to find yourself a cream-based foundation similar to what I put on so you can manipulate it, you can layer it, and you want to make sure your application is correct. Okay, so depending upon your skin type, are you oily? Do you need to roll? Do you need to use a brush? Do you need to use a diffuser? The application is going to make it huge. Okay, and that's per every skin type. Every skin type is different. And then the last thing is make sure you're setting your foundation. Okay, like I said, taking that powder, you can already see that it's starting to manipulate that 11 line right in there. Baking your skin, guys, is totally out. I'm sorry if anybody does bake their skin. I don't bake in the kitchen. I don't bake my face. Baking your face is going to make your creases stand out more. Taking a powder puff and taking that puff, patting it in there and patting it into that skin is going to be far more beneficial for your skin in reducing the appearance of your pores, reducing your fine lines and wrinkles, and then finishing it off with a setting spray that is water-based, okay? That is key, a water-based setting spray. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, but I love like the silicone primers and all those other things. Water-based primer and setting spray are key, okay? Along with your skincare and all of that. Why? Why is that beneficial for you? Water-based lays on top of your skin. Lays on top of your skin, okay? Silicones and all those other things, and a lot of people really like the silicone. They love that gel material, and I can't disagree with them. It feels really good. It makes your skin feel really nice and soft. However, silicones are bad for you, but B, you can't use silicone with wax base. It just kind of goes like that. It's kind of like on a slip and slide. You're kind of just like sliding all over the place, right? So silicones actually will cause your foundation to go into your creases. It will actually, if you have oilier skin, it will cause it to separate. Right? Silicone is greasy. It feels great going on, but it is greasy. If you have oily skin, it's disservicing your skin. If you have acne, it's disservicing your skin because it's actually not letting your skin allow to breathe. That's why with primer, you want to use a water-based primer. It lays on top of the skin. So then when you put that cream-based foundation on there, it lays on top of that primer, and it's not getting into those creaks and crevices. Okay, so you're not dealing with like the crow's feet over here. And I have a lot of crow's feet, which I'm working on. So having a water-based setting spray is going to be key for you as well. Why is that key? The setting spray that I'm using is temperature controlled patent. So what that means is those of you who have hormones, hot flashes, you sweat like a 14-year-old boy like I do, or you wear a mask, you're a nurse, it's on your face all the time, it's going to keep that locked and loaded on your skin. Now, not all setting sprays are like that. This is a particular kind of setting spray that I like to use that keeps it locked and loaded. It keeps that temperature control on there. It's like basically having a fan on my face to avoid the sweating and the moving of it. And that's the demonstration I'm going to show you guys here in just a second with the blushes. So I usually wait about 5 to 10 minutes before I go outside, before I allow the environment to manipulate my face, to touch my face, because I want to make sure that it's on there. And then I like to take a little bit of the powder when I'm finished, and I just like to set it. Now, a lot of people don't like a lot of coverage, and that's totally fine. There's days where I don't wear tons of coverage. There's a lot of days I just wear concealer, but there are people who like to wear full coverage. So here we have on this side, this is the side I did not put any setting spray or any primer or setting spray. So this side we have it, and we are manipulating it. We are trying to move it. It is not going anywhere, guys. This is what I'm talking about. It goes nowhere. There's nothing on my hand other than what I used to put this on, okay? There's nothing. There is nothing. Nothing is coming off, okay? So we see here that it's rubbing off over here. So that's why it's important to have that water-based primer and setting spray along with skincare, right? So as you see, like, it's not going anywhere. So my foundation is locked. It's loaded. When a miniature one in my car, the little ones that are about this size, I keep them in my car in case I need them, especially in the summertime. But my primer actually has vitamins in it. So if you struggle with acne or you struggle with redness or pores, larger pores, it has vitamins in it actually that reduce that redness, reduce the inflammation, reduce that appearance of the pore. You can never remove a pore or shrink a pore. You can reduce the appearance of a pore, which skincare also does the same thing. It helps with that too. Okay, guys, I hope that you liked this demonstration. Hope you guys have a good evening.